facebook.com/askdrjake. You can also go to our office page. That would be facebook.com/goodlifefamilychiropractic. You can also go to our website, goodlifefamilychiropractic.com. And as always, I'm bringing you a message today of hope, health, and wholeness, which is what we all need in this time. We are surrounded by fear. We are surrounded by thoughts of negativity, but God did not give us a spirit of fear. God gave us a spirit of power and of love and a sound mind. And so that's what we want to talk about today. So let's start with a patient that you might not think of as a typical patient. And that was a 6-year-old little girl that ended up in my office because her mom was a patient under care and actually was thinking that the medical approach wasn't doing it for her. Her little girl was dealing with a lot of stress, and I can see where the medical doctors went with this. The girl was actually dealing with a urinary issue, and they thought it might be a urinary tract infection or something related to her blood sugar or something related with their kidneys. But each time they ran a test and they did their diagnosis, they couldn't come up with anything. Eventually, they told her mom that it must be in her head, and pretty much left without hope. She had to go to the bathroom constantly. She was constantly getting car sick. It's not fun for her. But I was teaching her, the mom, about where real health comes from, how God designed us to heal, how he designed us to function, how health is a state of 100% optimal function and healing and is controlled by the central nervous system. And it kind of clicked for her mom, that there could be a problem in the spine, in the spinal column, with deviations in how those spine line up, subluxations that are interfering with the way her brain was communicating with her body. And so she brought her in and she said, can we have her spine looked at and see if there's a problem there, see if there's an interference. And I went right to her spine and I looked at her low back, because that's exactly where the sympathetic control of her urinary tract is controlled. And I found a scoliosis. And that scoliosis, we know from the research that it affects less than 5% of the population at around the age of 20, but by the age of 80, affects over 80% of the population. Living with scoliosis for its effects on your health is like living with type 2 diabetes for its effects on your life expectancy and your quality of life. It takes between 14 and 20 years off of your life just to have one. And so if you know you have one, then this is something that you absolutely should be taking care of actively. This is not something you passively sit back and wait to get you. This is the boogeyman. And we don't let this happen. And we were going through all these things with the mom and with Haley. And, we said, okay, well, let's try this. I know how to address scoliosis. Let's do an adjustment and let's see how she responds so we can figure out exactly what this is going to take to heal. And so I adjusted her. And that first day, that first adjustment was the first time in over a year that she felt like she didn't have to go to the bathroom constantly. And over the next couple of weeks, the car sickness went away. And now she's a healthy little girl that's just enjoying her life. And that's the hope. That's the plan that God has for us. Jeremiah 29:11, for I know the plans I have for you, declares the Lord, plans to prosper you and not to harm you, plans to give you hope in a future. And if you need some hope right now, and you're sick and tired of being sick and tired, then I suggest you pick up the phone and you call our office at 531-289-7100. Again, 531-289-7100. The first 5 callers today get a 50% discount off of exam and off of any necessary x-rays or imaging so that we can see exactly what's going on, so that we can start to develop a plan for your healing, not for your diagnosis, not for your treatment, but for your care, for how your body heals, to begin removing those things that interfere with the way that God designed your body to heal. And that's what we want. That's how we focus in the office. And the cool thing is, if you're watching on facebook.com/AskDrJake, our Ask Dr. Jake show page right now, I've got this video up and I've got the image in the background. You can see her scoliosis on this film go from borderline, right, a 10-degree scoliosis, to gone, completely gone. If anything, it's even shifted back and accommodated the other way. This is how this happens. We address the cause, and as we adjust, as we give you lifestyle changes, as you address your nutrition or lack thereof, as you address your lack of water intake, your lack of sunshine, the lack of doing the things that God gave us in order to stay and maintain health, as you address those things, you become healthier. And that is so cool. And I'll make this big for you so you guys can see this a little better. Just look at that shift. It goes from 9.7 degrees scoliosis down to where I can't even measure a scoliosis on her films anymore. And that's awesome. I love that. I love that for her. And I love that for every patient that's come through our office that's been able to see those changes. So if you want to go back afterwards, I'm going to leave this video posted up. If you're listening on the radio, thank you for joining us. This show is designed for radio, but I want to give you some tools that you can go to after the fact and just look at what we're doing. Look at the way that God is changing lives. And I see this all the time. People are like, oh, thank you, doctor. It's like, no, it's not me. In this relationship, I am not the healer. I did not heal you. I do not cause you to get a better night's sleep. I do not cause skin that's broken and torn and bleeding. I don't cause that to go back together. God does that. God is the healer. He designed our bodies to heal. He spoke life into us at the beginning, and he continues to speak life through us, especially the more we get in touch and start aligning ourselves with his laws and principles. And if you've fallen out of touch with his laws and principles, maybe today is the day where you pick up the phone and call the office so that you can get back on track with following those laws and principles of health and healing, getting your health back, restoring your health, and seeing a transformation. I just want to give a huge shout out to Clara Ruth. She left a review for us last week, but she doesn't actually do Facebook and she doesn't have a Google account. So she couldn't do it online. So she wrote a star and we put her up on our wall of fame, which we keep up at the front of the office. And she basically tells a story of Crohn's disease. She came into my office after meeting me out in a Hy-Vee and was telling me everything that she'd gone through, dealing with all these gastrointestinal disorders and dysfunctions, things like diarrhea and blood in her stool and all the pain that was associated with it, taking all these medications and having the top doctors, quote unquote, the top doctors in the world treat her for this disease process. But when I taught her about how the nervous system healed and functioned and how from a cellular component, how you get a brand new gut lining every 3 days, how you get a brand new body cellularly every 15 to 20 years, and that it's your nervous system that controls that, and the things that we do and the things that we give it that allow that to take place and allow that to function and allow that to heal. She said, let's give it a try. And she went to her doctor and her doctor said, I don't think it's going to work. I don't think this is going to do anything for you. I think it's a waste of time. Just keep taking my drugs and you'll do okay. We've got this managed and you'll do fine. They gave her no hope for healing, even though her body is designed to do that. He said, we took out too much of your colon. You can't heal. But I said, your body can heal. Your body grew from nothing. It can create what it needs to. And within a couple of weeks, a lot of the symptoms had started to go away. She went back for her annual checkup with him. And he said, I'm not seeing any signs of this. What happened? And she said, I went to the chiropractor. He taught me what it meant to be healthy. He taught me how to eat. He taught me how to move. He taught me how to live. Do you think you're getting that from your medical doctor? Are they teaching you how to live? Are they teaching you the hope that God built within you? The healing power that God spoke into you, that formed you, that breathed you out of nothing into something? She's still dealing with this. We still have issues. I mean, she literally cut out all of her gut except for a foot. But earlier this year, I had her start taking some children's supplements to increase her nutritional complexity, get some of those micronutrients in there that she wasn't able to break down in her food anymore. And she said, well, my doctor said that I can't absorb B vitamins. That part of my colon is gone. I said, it may be gone, but if your body needs it, your body will adapt and heal. The intelligence inside you knows what it needs even better than we do. We're discovering things about our own bodies that we've assumed for centuries to be one way and are now completely the other. 100 years ago, there was a list of over 100 organs that our medical community thought were completely useless. And that list, as much as 10 years ago, still had 5 or 10 different organs that we had no idea what they did. Now, guess how long that list is? It's 0. There are no organs in our bodies that do not have a specific role. If you want to know what those are, ask the question. Ask the question. This is called Ask Dr. Jake. I'm here to answer your questions about health. Go to facebook.com/AskDrJake. Text your questions to 531-289-7100. And one of the biggest questions I get is, Dr. Jake, I don't have back pain. How can my back or my spine be a problem? And that really, it comes down to the way that God designed your spine and designed your nervous system. Less than 10% of the nerves in your body have anything to do with sensation. They're all about function. You can have dysfunction underlying for 20 years before you feel a symptom. In fact, you have to lose 40% function anywhere in your body before you will feel a sign or symptom of that. And that's a major problem because in our health culture right now, we wait until we feel a symptom to do anything about it. And when that symptom comes up, we go to our doctor, he gives us a diagnosis and gives us a drug, starts billing our insurance. And then if that doesn't work, we go back to the doctor, get a different test, a different diagnosis, a different drug, stronger drug, maybe pay a little bit more because the insurance isn't covering this. And if that doesn't work, special doctor, special test, special drug, special price. He's called a specialist, by the way. And if that doesn't work, we go in and we have a surgeon check out our organs, cells, or tissues to see if we might be healthier without the material that God gave us, without the organ, cells, or tissues that God gave us. Because God must have made the mistake, right? God must have made an error when he designed you. Let me tell you this, God makes no mistakes. He just needs no interference. He can't save you without you acting out in faith, without you turning and repenting and believing. I mean, these are things that we see in scripture. And you think that you're going to get health back because you started taking a pill or you started taking a supplement. They have their time and their place, but they're not there to heal you. The healing comes from within you. The healing ultimately comes from God above. And he speaks from above down, and then we express health from the inside out. And that's the message of hope I want to give you today. You have the capacity. You are capable. Your doctor, even your chiropractor may not be speaking that to you, but if you're ready to change, if you're ready to stop conforming to the patterns of this world and being transformed by the renewing of your mind, so you can test and approve what God's will is, pick up the phone right now. Call our office, 531-289-7100, or text us, 531-289-7100, and we will answer your questions. We'll get you set up for a consult. And those first 5 callers today, they're going to get an exam, any necessary x-rays, all at a 50% discount. That includes the consultation. That includes going over the films. Does not include your first adjustment. That would happen at your second visit after we've had a chance to analyze your findings and figure out how best to take care of you. That visit typically costs $60, and it depends on what your insurance coverage is, how much this will actually cost you out of pocket. But call our office now. We'll help you set that up and get plugged in. 531-289-7100. I'll see you tomorrow for another episode of Ask Dr. Jake.